Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I'm not good enough? Maybe you failed a test, lost a game, or made a mistake, and suddenly you started to believe you can't do anything right. Yeah, we've all been there. That little voice in your head says, you'll fail again, don't even try. But what if I told you that voice is lying? What if the only thing stopping you is what you believe about yourself? Today, I want to share a story. A simple story, but a powerful one. It's about a boy who always said, I can't, until one day someone helped him discover a secret that changed his life. This story will make you think, smile, and maybe even believe in yourself a little more. So sit back, relax, and listen carefully, because sometimes all you need is a little magic of believing in yourself. Part 1. The Boy Who Always Said, I Can't. Ryan was 15 years old, but he often felt much smaller than his age. Every morning he walked to school with his backpack slung low, shoulders hunched, and eyes on the ground. He didn't feel confident. In fact, he rarely felt good about himself at all. Every time there was a math test, Ryan would whisper to himself, I can't do this. I'll fail. And most of the time, he did fail. Not because he wasn't smart, but because he had already given up before even trying. At football practice, it was the same story. When the coach called his name to kick the ball, Ryan would think, I'll lose again. I'm terrible. And yes, sometimes he missed the goal, which only made him believe the voice inside even more. His friends would laugh at his clumsiness, but it didn't feel funny to Ryan. Deep inside, he felt invisible, like no matter what he did, he didn't matter. Even when someone complimented him, he shook his head, thinking, they don't really mean it. I'm just not good enough. One rainy afternoon, Ryan sat in the classroom staring at his notebook. The pages were blank. His pencil hovered over the paper, but he couldn't write. I can't do it, he muttered again, almost like a spell. Mr. Adams, Ryan's teacher, noticed. He walked quietly to Ryan's desk, smiled gently, and said, Ryan, you are what you believe. Ryan blinked. He didn't understand. What do you mean? He asked softly. Mr. Adams didn't answer right away. He just placed his hand on Ryan's shoulder and said, think about it. Every time you tell yourself you can't, you're already giving up. But if you tell yourself you can, even a little, you might surprise yourself. Ryan wanted to argue, but he didn't. Something about Mr. Adams' words felt different. For the first time in a long time, Ryan wondered if maybe, just maybe, he had been wrong about himself all along. That day, Ryan didn't change magically. He still felt nervous about the tests and the football matches. But a tiny seed was planted in his heart, a thought he hadn't had before. What if I can do it? And that tiny thought would be the start of something that could change his life forever. Part 2. The Teacher's Challenge. The very next day, Ryan walked into class still thinking about Mr. Adams' words, You are what you believe. He didn't fully understand it yet, but it made him curious. Maybe there was a tiny chance he could do something if he believed in himself. That morning, Mr. Adams announced a new challenge for the class. Today, he said with a smile, you will build a bridge using only paper, and your bridge must hold a book, a heavy book. You can use tape, but nothing else. The students cheered. For some, it sounded like fun, but for Ryan, it sounded scary. He looked at the stack of papers on his desk and whispered, I can't do this. My bridge will break. He tried anyway. He folded the papers, taped them carefully, and placed the book on top. Crack! The bridge collapsed. Ryan groaned. See, I told you, I can't do it, he muttered, feeling frustrated. Mr. Adams walked over and crouched beside him. Ryan, he said softly, before you try again, say it out loud. I can do this. Ryan laughed nervously. That won't help, he said, shaking his head, but he whispered the words anyway. I can do this. I can do this. He tried again, more slowly this time. He folded the papers differently. He taped each part carefully. He focused. His hands trembled, but he didn't give up. When he placed the book on his new bridge, something amazing happened. It didn't break. The bridge held the book perfectly. Ryan's eyes widened. He could hardly believe it. It worked, he whispered, a big smile spreading across his face. The whole class clapped and cheered, but Ryan hardly noticed. For the first time, he felt proud of himself. He realized that the words he said, I can do this, had changed something inside him. Mr. Adams smiled and said, See, Ryan, believing in yourself is the first step. Your hands built the bridge, but your mind made it possible. Ryan nodded slowly. Something clicked in his heart. Maybe he had been underestimating himself all this time. Maybe he wasn't as weak or small as he had always believed. From that day, a little spark of confidence lit up inside him. He knew he would face more challenges in school, in football, in life. But now he understood something important. Believing in yourself can change what you can do. And for Ryan, that small paper bridge wasn't just a school project. It was the first real proof that he could try, he could succeed, and maybe he really could do great things. Part 3. Small Steps, Big Change. After the paper bridge challenge, something inside Ryan began to shift. That night, he looked at himself in the mirror and whispered, I can do this. At first, it felt strange, almost silly. He laughed quietly, thinking, who talks like this to themselves? But somehow the words made him feel a little stronger. Not confident yet, but a little stronger. The next morning, Ryan said it again. I can do this, he said, brushing his teeth. He said it while tying his shoes. And when he walked to school, he said it again, quietly, in his mind. At school, he noticed small things changing. In math class, when the teacher asked a question, Ryan raised his hand instead of staying silent. His answer wasn't perfect, but he tried. And when he got a B on his math test, he didn't say, I'm dumb. Instead, he said, next time I'll do better. For the first time, he didn't feel defeated. He felt motivated. At football practice, Ryan tried harder too. He didn't miss every goal. Some passes worked, some kicks went farther than he expected. And when a teammate fell, Ryan ran to help. Suddenly, his teammates noticed him. They smiled at him more. They asked him to join their group. Ryan realized he wasn't invisible anymore. He was part of the team. Even outside school, small changes happened. Ryan offered to help his little sister with homework. He smiled more at his friends. And when he faced a problem like spilling juice or forgetting his homework, he didn't panic. He told himself, it's okay, I can fix it. Each day saying, I can, felt more natural. It became a habit. And with each small success, Ryan felt more alive. It was like a tiny light was growing inside him, slowly but surely. The quiet, nervous boy he used to be was changing. By the end of the month, Ryan's classmates noticed something different. He was more confident, more cheerful, more willing to try new things. People didn't laugh at him as much anymore. They respected him. And the most amazing thing? Ryan realized that all this change didn't come from luck, talent, or magic. It came from one simple thing: believing in himself. Ryan understood something very important now. You don't need to start big. Small steps, small words, small changes. That's enough to start building something amazing inside you. And once you start, the little light of belief grows brighter every day. Part 4. The Big Game. The day of the school football match arrived, and Ryan felt a mix of excitement and fear. His team wanted him to play, but deep inside, the old voice whispered again, "You'll miss the goal. You're not good enough. Just sit out." Ryan's stomach twisted with nerves. He remembered the months he had spent trying to believe in himself, and he thought about the paper bridge challenge. "I did that once," he told himself quietly. "Maybe I can do this too." He took a deep breath and said aloud, "I can do this." The words felt strange, yet powerful. For the first time, he didn't feel completely frozen by fear. The whistle blew, and the game began. It was tougher than Ryan imagined. The opposing team ran fast, and every time Ryan got the ball, his heart raced. His legs felt heavy. The score was tied. Every second felt important, and every mistake felt huge. Ryan missed a pass early on, and for a moment the old fear returned. "I'll mess up again. Everyone will be angry." But then he remembered Mr. Adams' words, "You are what you believe." He shook his head and whispered, "No, I can do this." The match continued, tense and fast. Ryan ran, kicked, and passed with focus he didn't know he had. His teammates encouraged him, shouting, "Go, Ryan! You can do it!" That encouragement, combined with his own belief, gave him courage. Finally, the last minute came. The score was tied. The coach gave Ryan the ball for the final kick. The crowd held its breath. Ryan's heart pounded, but he closed his eyes for a moment and repeated quietly, "I can, I can, I can." He opened his eyes, aimed carefully, and kicked the ball. Time seemed to slow. The ball soared through the air, past the goalie, and into the net. The stadium erupted. His teammates lifted him up in celebration. Ryan laughed, tears in his eyes. But his smile wasn't just about winning the game. It was about something deeper. It was about knowing he believed in himself. That day, Ryan learned a lesson he would never forget. Success isn't just about skill or luck. It's about courage, persistence, and most importantly, believing in yourself, even when it's hard. And from that day on, whenever Ryan faced fear or doubt, he would remember that final kick, the roar of the crowd, and the magic of believing. And he would know he could do it. Part 5. The Lesson That Changed Everything. After the big football match, Ryan walked home slowly, still smiling. His backpack felt lighter than usual, even though it was full of books. Something inside him felt lighter too. For the first time, he didn't feel small or invisible. When he got home, he ran to his room and sat at his desk. He thought about everything that had happened: the paper bridge, studying for tests, helping his friends, and finally, the football game. He realized something amazing. All those little things had added up to something big. That evening, Ryan went to see Mr. Adams. "Thank you, sir," he said. "I don't think I could have done it without believing." Mr. Adams smiled warmly. "No, Ryan, you did it yourself. I only reminded you. You found the courage inside. That's what matters most." Ryan thought about that. It wasn't luck or talent or someone else doing things for him. It was him. His words, his thoughts, his belief. That was the real magic. From that day, Ryan decided to carry this belief everywhere. He believed in himself at school, in sports, and even at home. When he studied, he said, "I can understand this." When he played football, he said, "I can do it." When he made mistakes, he said, "It's okay, I can fix it. Ryan learned the most important lesson of all. The words you tell yourself every day are powerful. If you say, I can, your mind works to find a way. But if you say, I can't, your mind gives up before you even try. Believing in yourself is like planting a tiny seed, small at first, but it can grow into a strong, shining tree. Over time, Ryan noticed big changes. He wasn't afraid to try new things anymore. He joined the school debate club, learned a new instrument, and even helped other students who were shy or scared. He realized that when you believe in yourself, you can inspire others too. Ryan knew life would not always be easy. There would be challenges, failures, and doubts. But now he had something stronger than fear. He had belief. He knew that no matter what, he could face anything with courage. And so Ryan carried that lesson with him every day. Believing in yourself is the true magic. It can turn fear into courage, doubt into confidence, and small steps into great achievements. From a boy who always said, I can't, Ryan became a boy who knew the power of I can. And that magic, he realized, is something anyone can discover if they just try.